This is going to go to Express. Excuse me, today I am feeling a little so I might not talk as much, but we are out here analyzing the charts. We did send out the Google Doc, and we're going to just take a look real quick at, we're selling off here down below the levels from yesterday. Sorry, I just can't talk. Blue line there. Low is there. The high is going to be way up here. In that zone there. Let me use that as a high. Okay. So yesterday's session was this. This is the entire thing here. Here you opened up, you peaked above, you went right above to 810, and then you sold off pretty much right away. Rotated back down to 775, bounced off of it, came back up to that 795 level, and then just sold off right into the close. Once market reopened, we've just continued selling since. It flushed right through 775. Was kind of waiting for that today. Wanted that to happen today. Did not. So we're just kind of going to be patient. We're going to wait, see what happens on the open, and go from there. Rotated down. That's going to be the previous day overnight high. This is going to be our lows down here, all the way down here. This is pretty much all overnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, Asian session. Started pop, pushed down again, and now we are sitting right in the middle of the range. So we're going to have to watch, wait, and see kind of what's going to happen here. And we're open. So let's see what happens. Initial kind of little bit of a push to the downside. I'm going to guess that we're going to get a little bit of a correction, but we're going to have to be a little bit patient. I'm feeling a little, like I said, I can't really talk very well right now, so I'm going to be a little bit quieter today, but I will still be calling out what I want to see and all that as I'm doing it. Skip that. Put Trader TV in the background so I can hear the news stuff. All right. We're flat today, so still pushing up a bit. What we're looking at here is pushing up above this zone, that's 17,700. See what happens around there. If it holds and then continues to rally, that 17,738 and beyond. Try to kind of recover some of this from this overnight selling, and then anything up in that 17.8 range, look to short from there. So that's what I'm looking at. But I'm being very patient on the open for today, for the Tuesday open. Tilt's getting a little heavy long to 75%. Get rid of that. Gonna include the trend lines here. Patience is going to pay you today. Patience is going to pay you always. But we're going to be very patient. Like I said, we're not able to talk very well. For some reason, my voice is totally gone. I'm a little, I got a little cold, I guess. That's the beauty of having the kind of job we have. And then also kids in school like to bring stuff home and get you a little under the weather. So that's where we're at. But it's really just my voice. I can't talk. Alrighty, I'll let this thing kind of push. Kind of breaking through a little bit of a trend line on the upside on the 30-minute. All right. Last night I threw up in my Uber. Too many things going on. I gotta simplify this down. Okay. There we go. There's a little push. Our opening range is here. It's about 120 ticks. We did push up right above 17,700, and we're holding. But you see Delta push down as price was pushing up. So it's this very interesting dynamic there. Right at the trend line. That there is the trend line here on the 30-minute. You can see it right there, rejecting that trend line pretty handily. If you do get a close here, it could rotate back down. Might not even need a close. Might just rotate right off of it right now. So let's watch it. Be careful. Be mindful. Here's your S&Ps, still kind of pushing up. More of a basing pattern here. We push down, we base, we base, we base. Any sort of breakdown below that 49.97 could initiate selling down to that 49.83. A hold of this level could push us back above, up into that 5,020 something range. This wick is going to be very telling. I may wait for that 9 o'clock, but we're going to wait and see what I'm going to do here. Flat on the day. It's a holiday shortened week. Yesterday was President's Day. Markets, the stock market was closed, but the futures market was open for a grand total of half a day till noon. We weren't trading, we weren't streaming, we were just chilling. We did some analysis yesterday just to see what was going on. We have pretty good delta to the downside. It seems like everybody's getting into this short, so I'd be careful a bit. It's a very it's not that it's tilty, because the tilt is at 75% long, which I think that's wrong. I gotta refresh it. It's at 52. It's 50-50 right now, so we could push back up into that level up here. If we do push back up, get above that value area high, maybe wick above 700, we could look to fade this zone. Kind of just how it happened here. You're gonna get some chop, wait for it to kind of build up, and then take the short. Then I don't want to take this initial rejection, although that's a pretty good rejection there. If you took the delta break divergence, I'm not taking it right now. I'm just setting up myself. So we are focusing one account at a time today. We are going to go with the. We're starting to trade the funded account today again. Looking for pretty much great opportunities. My eyes, I definitely have a little bit of a cold. I could feel it in my eyes. Probably should have known it was coming when I got that migraine a couple days ago. Alrighty. Very important support level is this level coming up right here. That's 17,669. So it bounced off of here once, twice, stayed above it, rejected it, sold from it, bounce. So this is a pretty important zone. Let's watch it. Let's be mindful of it. You are getting good sellers coming in here. That 30-minute rejection was huge. Right off that, to the tick off that trend line. Wicked right through it, and if you would have shorted back down through it, you'd have been in good shape. I was just not in a position to take that there at this time, so I'm going to be very just mindful of it. Let's watch the overnight low here and see if it gets to it and if it flushes it or if it's going to bounce from it. If 49.97 goes on the S&Ps, then the NQ also just has lots of downside to go. There's just so much. This whole session from yesterday is an overnight session, right? Like there's not a ton of volume on it. We kind of just crept to the downside. We based, fall out of bed, base, fall out of bed, base, try to get something, fall out of bed, and then you just chop around between these areas here. We're gonna just kind of wait and see because we're only still within the opening range, just sitting on the bottom of it. Pretty good sell side pressure though. Very good off that 30-minute candle. If I have to run out in a second, just give me a few minutes. Just when I don't feel too hot, I gotta maybe bounce. So we got NVDA. Still's got some room to the downside. This whole session yesterday sold off, or the whole pre-market session, I should say. Microsoft also selling. Apple also selling. Apple approaching a liquidity zone, however, at that 180, 180.50. So could bounce from there. NVIDIA is just flushing already. They have earnings tomorrow after the bell. Could this be like a dip it down so then when the earnings come, then we could just buy it? We're going to be careful around 700. Could bounce from there. Like if you get a chance to read my write-up, you could see that there is NVIDIA just dragging the market around the last few months. So we're just going to be careful. We're going to watch it because earnings tomorrow after the bell, whatever NVIDIA does, the market pretty much does at the moment. And then it's kind of dragging everything around with it. Yeah, Microsoft and Apple and NVIDIA here. 17,633 broke on the NQs. So we're right at that overnight low. I want to see that kind of break down and see where it could end up. If it does break down, we're going to hold it. We're going to hold below there. And we're going to have to see if we can hold below this 633-ish level or even this low, if we can get down into this liquidity zone here, 560 to 580. 560 to 580 is down here. And then look for a bounce from there, or if it's going to continue to sell. I did say sellers are starting to pile into this market. So there's the overnight low. That's a delta confirmation. Should continue to flush now. Unfortunate, didn't short the high. Scared money don't make no money. I was considering it when I saw that delta divergence, when it ripped through that 700 level to short back down through 700. Just didn't really quite have the setup that I wanted to see. But it obviously has played out. So right to that 580 level, right, that I was talking about, right here, right into that zone. We have, this is why I'm talking about it. We bounced. Can it hold again? Can that 560 level hold, or is it going to flush all the way down to 526? Is today going to be the day that we miss that first entry and you never get another look back? That's the question. You could see NVIDIA broke 700 and has just initiated its selling. If you read my write-up, I was anticipating this post-earnings, but hey, it happened now. So it's just I was not able to time it, and that was just on me. There's 580. It wicked it right down to 560. So our zone was money. Check it out. That zone is to the tick right at the bottom. We got the bounce right at the very bottom of that zone there. Watch for a setup to see if you can get a bounce play if NVIDIA does try to recover from this area. If NVIDIA just continues to sell off, there's no end in sight to the downside. I can't speak. My fucking... Delta's starting to creep up. Price not doing that. Price still trying to push to the downside. I hope somebody saw that opportunity there above 700. I saw it coming, and then I just never... my reaction time is a little slow. I guess that Mucinex didn't really help my reaction times. There was a few areas I was considering a breakdown of the opening range and that breakout fade of 700. I knew that we weren't going to really get all the way up to that overnight high, or I didn't know. I thought we weren't going to get there. But if we can catch a bounce around that 500 level, that would be nice. That's a really far way down, but we're right at the bottom of all these numbers here at 560, 555. This could be a continuation. I was really looking forward to a short today, and that would have been the one trade I needed. It's a really nice one there. I'm not going to try to revenge into anything. I'm going to wait for something to set up for me, get this thing to slow down a bit, try and return around, maybe give me another wick of the bottom, rotate back to the high side, recover some of this, and then get the sell again later. Seems like it's a heavy market. NVIDIA popped right up to the liquidity zone and then is selling from there again. You can see it right here. Wicked this 684, popped up to the 696 liquidity zone. Now it's rotating down. NQ, obviously, same deal. Just right in there in that liquidity zone. Sorry if I'm too close to the camera. Sometimes I get in here. Okay, NVIDIA, if we could get back above this 700, could initiate some buyers to come back in, short term at least. But if it doesn't, if it fails it, then there is further downside for it. So you have sort of a delta divergence coming in here where price is trying to make new lows, but you're not getting that big delta confirmation. Could be looking to see a reversal back to the high side from here, especially if tilt gets heavy short on a break of the bottom. If tilt gets heavy short on the break of the bottom and you start getting this tick up here, but I have tilt heavier long right now, so I don't trust it quite yet. This is a nice little grab, but if it breaks, then you got that breakdown. So that's something I don't quite trust, especially with NVIDIA at this liquidity zone where easily a seller could come in and pop us down. And just after that, it's super heavy move. I mean, a recovery up is something I would like to take, but I don't. Like I said, I don't trust it for a. And then S&P's cracked that 49.97, so we are in that area where it could just continue to the downside, down to 49.80. We're still flat. Haven't taken any trades. Not for lack of want on that first one. Just was a little late on it. I am feeling a little under the weather today. You can hear my voice is a little different, but we're out here. We're grinding it. Still making our analysis, and we're going to do our best here to execute on something. Tilt 73% long. That's interesting. Short continuation probably likely. NVDA selling from there with a 72% long. Do I cheat the short? Delta's pushing up here, 69% long. Microsoft still pushing down. I think there's still downside pressure to this market. You can see my zone there for Apple ticked right off the top of it. NVIDIA sold right off from it. I manually draw up these zones so they're not just auto-populated. These are things that I look at time and time again that play out. Here's your Microsoft pre-market low. I like this pre-market low here. There's no difference between dotted and solid. I just sometimes the design stuff changes. NVIDIA sold off from that area there. Not as strong as I would have thought if it was going to continue to sell from there, but you could get another pop and a retracement. Tilt's only 63% long. Just hanging here. I did mention I did like that short right at 700. After this, kind of look for another little pop above because we did get a good delta divergence almost immediately. Just wasn't quick enough to catch the move there. It happened pretty fast. This is all minute candles, so it happened in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes. Under 10 minutes. That's that move right there. You're getting a delta divergence kind of here. If you do try to crack this low and you sit up here in these highs with the sellers, let's see if tilt gets heavier long, and then you can go long. I mean, heavier short. You can go long back above this volume node here at 80, and only risk right to the bottom here. Oh, that's too much. Too much. Wow. Okay. Risk to the bottom of one of these. Yeah. NVIDIA broke the bottom pretty hard. Trying to bounce off the 684 level. Not happening. Short is in today. Short is in today. Here's what I'm looking at. Delta divergence long above 80 with a stop below this bar here. And I'm going to take one off at our high here. 599. Just based on the delta divergence here, cracked the lows. Delta didn't play along. Tilt a little heavier short. If we do get it back above 80, that's where I think you do get a bit of a retracement. You do have not a really great channel bottom right there at 550, but that's the bottom of a channel that I drew up. Tilt is 73% long short, so Could look to see that bounce come in after this flush here. If not, it's going to be a continuation. Obviously, that's how that works. If it's not a bounce, it's going to continue. But I think we are more likely to catch a little bit of a bid if NVIDIA kind of recovers that 684 level again. And I'm not trying to catch the bottom here. I'm above this volume area node because I do believe that if you get above this volume area at 580, that you could get that harder continuation move, right? It would be great to catch the bottom here, but I don't trust it, right, to continue to sell off. You are kind of limiting your risk with one contract 280, but you don't have that confirmation yet that you're kind of coming on the other side. You're not on the other side of it yet. Alrighty, you can see Delta never even came close to making it down here. Price came pushing all the way down. You're at the bottom of a channel. I don't know if we trust this yet because NVIDIA earnings is tomorrow, so I think that they're kind of selling off a bit just to get themselves a good spot to buy, maybe for good earnings, but also could rotate right back up to the 700 level and beyond. So my entry is here above the 80 level, and we're going to go from there. 82 even, and then our stop's going to be there. And we're going to see what happens with this. If that's going to come up to that tick and rotate me out, then so be it. I think we could catch a little bit of a decent move out of it to the higher end. Like I said in my plan, I'm going to try and take profits quicker on bounces, but this is kind of what I'm seeing here as far as a divergence. I'm at lack of follow through on the breakdown for NVIDIA to the downside, so any sort of bid in NVIDIA is going to carry this market to the high side. So any further push up will probably get some buyers involved because it's been beaten down here since the open. I'm just watching it. I'm leaving that entry there because I don't trust this to not roll over continuously because of the way it's been. But we're looking at this thing to give us there's a high volume node here. This is where the breakdown started. There probably will be some stops up there. Look to try and catch the momentum up to this zone here, just shy of 600. I'm going to front run it to the top end of these candles. So I'll secure one off there and then see how much we can run. If we do run back up to the overnight low, and then where it goes from there, I don't know. I'm going to be very quick, like I said, to secure profits on bounces because you can see selling comes in very hard, very fast. But I do think if we get above 80, we should be able to get to 600, and then we'll adjust. NVIDIA is catching a bid. Like I said, would it have been nice to catch the long from here? Absolutely. I did see it kind of coming in. But that's just not confirmed enough for me. Especially this could constitute some sort of downtrend here. So it could resist this 17,574 level. If it does crack here, you're going to get a little bit of a pop. My only nervousness is that it flushes 80 and then it ticks me in and rolls me over. But I think if it gets through 80, then we should get to that first take profit and then be able to kind of mitigate our losses. If not, we're just going to take that loss and move on. So there's the push up, right, that we're talking about. The delta divergence plays nicely. Tilt was heavy. A lot of things were working in our favor. Right now we're sitting here. I put it above 80 because I thought if you come into here, you could still roll over, which is what's happening right there. But we're still patient. We still have our entry. Our stop is still in a good spot below those wicks there. So if we get triggered in, we should get that first one off, I would guess. My voice is gone, so. Patience. It is 5 minutes to 9, so hopefully this doesn't trigger me until 9 o'clock. But I like the setup, so I really, not that I don't want to bring my rule, but Holding below that 574. NVIDIA is still kind of just lingering here. Now trying to sell off again, so possibly could just push us down a bit. All right, NVIDIA. That's a decent little continuation, a little pop short. Like I said, this could act as a little bit of resistance here at 574. That's why I have my stop above 80, where there's the volume node is. I'm in a lower volume node there. You got Delta flattening out, trying to push harder, harder, harder. If it breaks through here, like I said, should give us a stronger push to the high side. Get our first one off at least. I would obviously hope that it gets our first one off, and then from there, we'll see what happens. NVIDIA's still pushing up higher. Microsoft basing out at the lows at 400. And Apple trying to base at the lows too. Well, let's see. If we get triggered in, we get triggered in, and then we see what happens. All right. There's no news today, right? So it's tomorrow. Wednesday is 1 o'clock. All right, we're in long. See if we can get that first one off, and then we'll trail out kind of quick. We got ticked in. That was a great short entry, if anything. I don't have this. Like I mentioned, if we get ticked in and then roll over, it is what it is. We're flat now. Seems like it just wants to roll. It's kind of why I don't enter right there. The idea was there. Just didn't play out. All good. Down 630. Okay, some trades don't play right away. We're good with that. Let's see what happens moving forward. Take a second shot at it, possibly. Gotta watch NVIDIA. You know, this is another push to the downside there. We're gonna do the same deal if NVIDIA breaks above. We'll take the same entry, but we may front run it a touch. The bounce play could be in, or it could continue to flush. NVIDIA getting a little bit stronger of a delta push, but still kind of just diverging. They use Bookmap. I use this. It's called Dome Surface. Oop, not this one. Dome Surface. I gotta find it. Give me a second. I gotta show it. I'll show it. Surface Dome. This one. They use this, but it's just a different version of it. They use most of the time when you see it, you're seeing Bookmap. I'm pretty sure. And quick settings is gonna be 100. Oop. So you can see the orders here. Larger orders are bigger balls. There's a sitting order up here that's about 70. So you can see the size of some of these sitting orders, which is kind of nice. Well, there's a roll to the bottom. These are Larger fills. That's what the bigger the size, the larger the fill. Something disappeared on my screen there, so that's great. They use Bookmap. I'm gonna put it in here if somebody's not watching. And this one is on Quad Tower is Dome Surface. All right, sell side, like I said, still coming in. Shouldn't have fought the trend there, so it is what it is. See if we can get some liquidity to grab there. The bottom here, 550, 521. Just kind of crack these lows, so just be careful. NVDA is still kind of holding though. This 525, 527 level. That would have been a perfect short entry, right? But it was a perfect wick get filled. Didn't broke my rule and earned the loss there. Top step X tilt is 59% short. Not super heavy short. Still not really breaking lows here on the delta, so that's to me something that may indicate a little bit of a buying pressure coming back. Crack of this little wedge here. Get into these bodies a bit. Could initiate the buying. People still trying to catch bottoms here. It's very, very interesting, very telling. Like I said, I'm going to be a little quieter today. My voice is messed up a bit. I don't know. I'm a little under the weather. I'm trying my best to grind through the day. See if we can get a break of this, and then we can return it a bit higher. It's got to be a break above there, though. The wick down below. Yeah, I could, but I just don't. I could see these lines. I usually just draw the top one or whatever direction I'm trying to play. I kind of use the actual zones more than the trend line breaks. I have it up here. This side over here. You can see it there. It's more of a long-term channel. We got the wick at the top here. Maybe we get the wick at the bottom. See what happens. Yeah, more of a zone bounce, zone rejection type trade. I'm gonna look this one here, see what happens.
Order filled.
On that, I'm gonna go below here and just let that thing rock. Top step X. See if I just play the bounce on it and see what happens. Cheat on the breakout. This is the 100K live, yep. Yes, the live account here. I will play the break above here if I could see NVIDIA playing along some. But NVIDIA wants to kind of roll. If this is still heavy. I want it to be up here. like it wants to push. Patient. I try a bounce play here. Delta is pushing up. I haven't been taking these breakouts. However, they have been working. So let's see if we can catch one of these. This is a front run bounce play. Get NVIDIA to break up through 700, kind of help us out some kind of move. Take one off, like I said, up here where I would have added, and then we'll go from that. This is purely, this is just very heavy, very heavy. The bottom end of this zone is 60. So if it gets through the bottom end, it should accept into it. Let's just see what happens there. Tight break, it closes there. Super heavy stops, super heavy market. You can see those volume nodes get respected at 550, got above it, wicked it twice, rotated down. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that. That one's gonna get probably stopped there. Yeah, 527. 30. This is not, didn't quite make that trend line there, which is interesting. But NVIDIA's selling. Yeah, NVIDIA's going to carry this thing to the downside if it doesn't just grab some liquidity there and run up. But, you know, wherever it goes, that's where a market goes. About 553. Less of a strong push down. That's the only thing. If we do crack the lows, we still are getting that divergence in the delta here. You're not making new lows. You're making higher lows in delta. This one you did, but it was, you know, just barely. This one you haven't made new highs, so it's really just flattening out until you start to get a real push down to break down below these lows here. This delta push to the bottom is kind of more of you could kind of catch some of these bounces because it's just not quite there.
Order
I'm gonna let that thing go from the Top Step X and see what happens. Just a one guy long there. As just a pure bounce play off the bottom with this wick not playing too much along. NVIDIA, if it cracks 684.94, nah, yeah, that's done. Okay, we're not doing that one more. Top Step X. Don't be too. That's why we don't go aggressive over here. Everything is at the bottom right now. We're gonna flatten that. That idea is not playing out right this second. Still not cracking that low there in the delta. The divergence there is still in play, but markets are just heavy. NVIDIA's heavy. Everything's dragging it around, so I'm gonna wait and see what I can get back here. I got a little bit early on the. I saw the idea happening here, and I was talking about taking the long from down here, which I didn't. And I entered at the very high of the move. So that's just on me, obviously. There's that level there, that 521 level. Could cheat on this long. What's Microsoft doing? Trying to hold, but I don't know if it's going to. NVIDIA, like I said, is still trying to be in this little wedge. Apple is into our zone. The bottom one's fine. Okay. Just kind of beaten down here. I think Apple has to 180 to push. NVIDIA catching a little bit of a bid here. I will try one shot at it. Long above this. Above that volume node there at 50. That's just on that break above. Based on some of these wedge patterns kind of playing out over the last few weeks. Actually, the low volume node is there. I'll take the low volume breakout. And I'll take one off when I get up above here. That's 61. Market's continuing to sell. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low. If NVIDIA keeps selling, then there's no there's nowhere that this isn't going to go. We have down to the next area of interest for me will be 17,450, 440. If it doesn't give you a little bit of a pop here. You're getting Delta to kind of push up, prices pushing down. It's very interesting. You can see that line that you were talking about, Kramer, is here. If you can't see it, there it is. Could look to take a one guy here. Above here. Tilt's 53% short, not heavy short. 527. Yeah. I think this is playing out right here. A recovery back above 44, 45, 40. Yeah. Recovery above 40 should give us that little bit of an entry idea. If this is going to break down, it should break down soon. This could be a steady grind to the downside. You know, we're making constantly new lows, but Delta is not getting new sellers in. So somewhere along the line, there is a buyer here. I think we're catching that bid here. This is probably where we get. I'm going to start with a one contract. What's one? What would be the risk on one? I kind of wanted to get long right there at 27. So some of my entries are a little off, but we'll see what happens. That's the low volume node, so I feel like if we can pop it, we should be able to get a good pop. See what happens here. It looks like it wants to kind of give us that the recovery up over here. if we get triggered in, we take the ride. We're talking about it down here, trying to recover this 21. Probably look to get my entry closer to that. Would have been better off, obviously, you know, sitting in the money instead of waiting to get triggered in. But I think that this low volume node breaks. You get that crack, that continuation, and then hopefully you could get that first contract off from here. Delta's starting to push up harder, so we should get a little bit of a move here, I would guess. If not, then we're out. Done for the day. There we go. Pushing. Should get that first contract off. Let's see if we can get it. Give this an actual bounce. A little bit heavier long than I would like on the tilt. Come on, NVIDIA. Bounce, baby. Bounce for me. Give me that one little pop up to that 550 area. And then I could get maybe to break even. And we'll see if we can get this thing to run up to our our first target. And then we'll catch a little bit of a bounce. Trail this thing out sort of quickly. And looks like we're going to roll over again. Possibly. NVIDIA is catching a little bit of a bid here. So maybe that'll give us that bounce. We're gonna be patient with it. Let it do its thing, and it's gonna fail us. And see what happens. Can't talk, so I'm gonna be quiet. Microsoft sold off hard. I should have been watching Microsoft. I'm watching NVIDIA. Hey, here we go. All right, we're gonna get stopped out there. Nope. To the tick. Nope. And we're still in. Still in. Still in. And we're still in. Still in. And we're gonna be out. Come on. Alrighty. Good stop location, I guess. It's going to crack it, though. So we're out, down 1,300. Great start to our day, our week. Not so. I'm just messing around. Losses are going to happen. We take our shots at our locations. But, you know, 1357. Sometimes you take some losses on some attempts. And that's what happens. So we're just going to keep being patient, watching. 2 full losses there. That's really pretty much it for the day. I bet you it bounces here now. I'd love to get into it. Alrighty. One contract. Two pretty good losses there. Tried to just get into these moves as I saw them coming. Nothing really came from them. We got the delta divergence. This one here and this one here just didn't play out. This is why I tend to not play these breakout type moves, but it happens. We switched to one contract. We'll shorten it up a little bit. Limit our risk to the downside some. Microsoft pushing back, Apple catching no bids, NVIDIA slightly pushing up. I'll take one contract there. Stop below here. So 2 times where I was thinking about taking moves, if I would have caught them where I was thinking about them and not where I set my entries, we would be in much better shape. We'd be up instead of down. But that happens at times, so we just got to be sticking to our strategy, let everything play out. NVIDIA's rolling back downside again. Everything's kind of leading to it being a wedge. I think a break above 690 one more time could get NVIDIA to pop off. But any further selling, anything that breaks down will continue to sell us off. A breakdown below 684 in NVIDIA keeps this selling going. This one actually seems a bit more heavy, so we're going to get rid of that. Bang, bang. Caught some liquidity up there. Could look to see this short further down into that zone, that 460 area that we talked about before. High or low. If this candle breaks, then you get some buying pop. But I don't know if it will, because the way the market is being so heavy. Like I said, we drew it up. I took longs instead of that initial short. Apple, basing. Microsoft, basing. NVIDIA, wedging out really nicely. Any sort of crack above here is going to give some buys up to 700. A pop above this candle here could give us some buying pressures. A pop above that candle there, because you can definitely see there's some stops probably sitting there. You see NVIDIA rolling right to the bottom. If you get a bounce off this line again, then maybe we can keep some strength coming into the market here, or see some strength, not keep some strength. We haven't had any. It's all weak, beaten down. Tilt is 64% long. I think that's wrong. 66% long. NVIDIA looking to want to break down. Video's getting heavy again. Another try to break this low, another failed delta push to the downside. There's not a bunch of new sellers coming in, so a new buyer, any size buyer that comes in is going to pop this market to the high side. You got some sitting orders down here. There we go. It's starting to pop up a little bit. If NVIDIA can break above 690, then this market may pop off, because I think if it breaks 690, there's a chance it runs up to that 700 level again. If it breaks down from 684, then it has a lot of sell side pressure to continue to pile in. So it's between the two of those price points for NVIDIA. NVIDIA winding up and winding up and winding up. To go which way, we don't know. We're diverging a bit. Building up, building up, building up. Microsoft pushing higher. Apple still sitting at these bottoms. NVIDIA still hasn't cracked that 84, but it feels heavy. It has wound up and wound up and wound up. It's held at 84 pretty nicely. There could be a buyer here. Like I'm saying, that this is a good base here. We've pushed low, pushed low, pushed low, have not made new lows since back here. So there is some sort of buying getting built into this. Is it buying that's holding it up, or is it buying that's going to initiate the short squeeze kind of deal going on? So that's what we need to wait and see. That 500 level is pretty strong. There's the breakdown on NVIDIA below 84. See if it initiates the selling or if it's going to be a liquidity grab and then run us up to the highs. But it looks like it's going to continue to sell off. NVIDIA. Could that be a liquidity grab? Let's see. Some volume coming in. Grabbing some orders. Could pop it back up to the high side. What's Microsoft got going on? NVIDIA pretty much holding this, so 930 on the nose. 30-minute candle close. 30-minute candle close below this little wedge. We are below all these levels here, which all got messed up, so that's great. 550, 560. Selling is going to come in here. And then we got this level here. Fucking shot. Flatten that. That's not going to work. Shorts have been playing beautifully. Like I said, you could maximize the short today or even this week on any sort of pops, any sort of short idea you have. You could hold it a bit longer. Any sort of long idea, you need to kind of be quick with taking your profits on it. That was what I wrote up. I didn't execute any shorts yet, and we are still waiting to see what we want to do here. We just finally cracked that low in Delta, so new sellers came pouring in there. I still think this level, liquidity level below us, has some opportunity. If you do crack it back above here, the rotation back up could happen as well. Markets have been very interesting the last few weeks, so stuff like that could easily happen. NVIDIA just cracked the low, and now it was a huge liquidity grab because it's popping back up to 684.94. If it breaks above that, that could really initiate the buyers come back in. You could see it, right? Flush that low, came right back above it, and now is trying to bang on this door at 684. If it pushes through that door there, I'd say up to that liquidity zone above could be a good idea. Take one contract here down at the very low. But it's not. It's playing down. Microsoft broke the lows as well. Nice little low base breakdown. If you do play those, that's a good little continuation play there. Everything is heavy. I'm not gonna play this long right now. 3 strikes and you're out today. If we do take another one, right now we're looking to just be very patient with it. Execute on a good planned idea and not just jump into something. We do have down a bit to go for that S&Ps. I did mention if it did crack that 49.97, we have down to 49.79-ish, that level, and we're right there right now. 80. Well, NVIDIA broke that high there, so let's see. Not the high, the level that I was looking at. So, close of that. 30 seconds. A close in that area there could lead to us buying. We'll break above here, above the 21s. That was that bounce right there. Just hadn't had NVIDIA up lay here. Let's see what happens with NVIDIA here. We are closed above it, so it should hold. I'm watching it patiently. That was a beautiful one there. Could we crack here? Continue on. Let's see. Microsoft catching a little bit of a bounce. Apple still beaten down, but maybe it wants to bounce as well. NVIDIA, I want this thing to continue on up to break set 90. See if it fails 84s or if it holds it again. Waiting to see if this will break above here. If it does, I think we do have a pretty easy pop to 550. And then we got to be kind of quick with it. see. Let's see. Can we get this thing to rock to the high side here? My play is that extremes tend to fail, and moves like this like to retrace a bit, especially when they grind down, build longs, and they don't build a ton of shorts in the delta. So if NVIDIA can catch a bid and get us up to 690, then we probably get triggered into this, see where that long takes us. 525 is a resistance level as well, so it's just, I gotta be careful with that entry. But it's just gonna be what we're gonna take. And if it's the last trade, then it's the last trade of the day, then we move on and we take another one tomorrow. NVIDIA failed that at 684 again, so watch this potentially to the downside to continue to push down. It did not crack the wedge. It's still working. It's still working that level. You can see it working this level here, and you got this beautiful wedge working. Wedging it down. Getting tight with it. Microsoft. Maybe that's a failed breakdown as well. You can catch both of these catching bids. And Apple got to 180, which I expected to be a bounce point for it, which kind of is. It's a little bit of a grab. So that's why I think that we could catch a little bit of a bounce here on the on the NASDAQ. So that's what I'm playing. I'm going to play this long if it breaks above here. I am fucking shot right now. What is wrong with my head? Okay, let's see if this will break and continue, or if it's going to fail. Get some bids up in here. God damn. I've been really good at top ticking entries here. It looks like NVIDIA wants to break above again. Let's see if it'll carry us. If it does, then maybe we'll add above here. Not yet. Oh, you don't need a filter for that. You can pour it in here. I need NVIDIA to continue on up. I don't want to get wigged out of here. I want this to continue to push. Looks like we're doing. NVIDIA's finally breaking out. All right, NVIDIA's breaking out. Let's see if we can get this thing to play along. We'll add some coffee to the pot here. All right. All right. That looks good. Let's see. Can we get this to now be the rotation that we were expecting, or is it going to fail here and give up on us? So we're going to watch it. Be careful. Up to 550, like I said, possibly. If we get to 550, we'll go break even. Actually, 540, we'll go break even. That's the edge of this volume node there. It seems like that's kind of a liquidity grab that we're just kind of pulling off there. We're wrong here because if it stops us here, it's rolling over. So that's where we're going to be wrong. That was a really nice push candle up there, but nothing to follow through on yet. It should hopefully follow through and give us some of that move. We can get some of this back. I only am in one contract because the drawdown a bit. I'm going to look to see how much I can grab back. Hopefully NVIDIA can run all the way up to 700. If NVIDIA runs all the way up to 700, we have room back to 17,006, which would be ideal. 17,006. We could front run that. That's a nice little $1,500 move. That'll make our day back, but we got to get this thing up to 40 first. If we can get this up to 40, it's 2 wicks there. If this doesn't fix that wick soon, we're going to probably look to jam ourselves out of this so we don't take a full loss on it. It doesn't want to follow through. NVIDIA broke that top of that wedge and then failed it again. No, it's not going to play along, is it? Needed to get up through that 40 level, like I said. We're here. We're going to be wrong at this level, like I said, because I think if we do get down here, we're going to break down. If it gets above there, it should play. And then we could take one off at the top here for 50. Front run that bottom end there. Tweezer top there. I don't want to let it fake me out. I think I could still catch a bid and, pop this off to the high side. If it does break through those tweezer tops, then I'm adding on and I'm going to take off at 47. This stop is going to go below here. I'm going to add to a winner if it goes through that, like I said. If that's just going to be another liquidity grab, then so be it. We're not going to get filled on another entry. But I think like with NVIDIA pushing up now, we should get filled on this. And then possibly pop off. Get this to rotate the other direction. I need some hot water. We're going to brew some caffeine here. If this continues, it's starting to get pushy up to the high side. A buyer should come in here, break through the high here at 30, 31, get us triggering into that second contract, and then we're going to hopefully get one off at 47 here. So I'm going to start this off. Get a bloom going for 30 seconds. We're brewing coffee and we're taking trades. We got a break on NVIDIA to the high side. I want to get up to 690. We're in on our second now. Should be able to get that first one off, hopefully. Up there closer to 47. If I see a rejection at 40, I'm going to take it off. I'm going to trail the ad. Alrighty. Let that thing play out, see if it'll do our thing. And then we're going to brew some coffee. There's that 40. We got to watch it. We're brewing coffee. We're trading. Maybe that's the key to success here. Just getting your full pour over going while you're trading. I'm going to trail the ad to break even. I'm going to take both. It's a free trade now with the ads. So we're going to see if we can get above that 40. If we fail 40, then potentially we're not going to get that one off. But I think we should be able to push both contracts up to the high side here. Very nice. All right. I'm trailing below this candle. If it fails, it fails, and we're going to be out. But should hopefully be able to get that first contract off. There it goes. Push up, push up, push up, push up. I'm not worried about the coffee at the second, but push it up. Get me that first contract off. Get it off, get it off, get it off. Come on now. Get it off. I need that first contract off here. Come on. I feel it pushing. Feel that strength coming into the market. There's reasons behind why I took this trade. Why we didn't shut it down yet. NVIDIA is still popping up above that area. Looking to see if it's going to fail. I want this thing to fill. I need this thing to fill up. Oh, I got to open that. That's what I got to do. Almost forgot. This is a different kind of brewing method there. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're filled up on that first. Let's go. And now we got just one at break even, and we're going to see how far we can take this, okay? That kind of helped our balance a bit. We're going to see if we can move this thing up now to the high side. I'm going to continue to brew. We're at break even. So wherever this goes now, it goes. I do think it has room to the upside. And we are brewing this pour over as we're taking this trade. So pretty exciting. Alright, this is a single serving type thing here, so it should be full. There we go. Very, very nice. We got a good trade on. We got a good cup of coffee going. There's a reason I front ran that. I wanted to get that thing up into that 50 level. Never quite made it to 50. So we front ran 50 on that first contract, taking that one off. Let's see if we can get this to continue to push. We got to see if NVIDIA will continue to roll to the high side. There we go. Pushing up. I'm going to try and let this thing run now a little bit. Hopefully we can crack into the value area low. If we do get back into the value area low, I do anticipate 574 getting touched. If we can't, if we reject this value area low there at 555, then we may need to look to get out at that high again. I may look, because NVIDIA does look like it's trying to not play along, but it is. It's still holding, so we're good. Still good. I would love to see NVIDIA back to like 690, and then if it can break 690, then that really gets us going to the high side. But it is still trying to get a little heavy. Microsoft got to 400 and failed it. Apple is still bouncing a bit, so Apple's still holding us up. NVIDIA failed, so we're gonna move this up a bit to this candle here. I'm gonna secure another $690. Yeah, we're out there. We're flat. That was a good trade. We got some of our money back. I didn't like how NVIDIA was looking. It gave that hard flush down through here again. We could look to see if we can get another entry soon, but I just didn't like the way that wick happened. I bet you now we run up, but hey, we got our W back there. We're down 8. We're going to end the day green. I know it. Especially if we execute on good trades. Overall, break even was here, so we would have probably got stopped anyway. Well, actually, no, break even's here, so we wouldn't have. But we're watching NVIDIA fail. We're watching NVIDIA fail. We're watching Microsoft get to 400 even and push through it. So, but if you get that failure there, you could short that as well. I said if we fail 555, the failure could come in. I also mentioned that taking profits to the high side on bounces, we're going to have to be sort of quick, and that anything sell side you could kind of maximize, and that's sort of showing its hand here. We're entering into that 60 level is the bottom end of this value zone. So we did buy ourselves another trade. That's all we can do. NVIDIA still maybe tried to stop some people out there. That's what we were brewing. How we doing? Brewing. Tilt is 85% long right now. Don't be afraid to short that. 85% long, huh? I don't think I like that. 85% long. It was a nice little move though. 558. Got a little something. I guess I gotta just brew coffee and trade. Oh, it's still recording.
We can put things out of it.
Yeah, it's cool. You can take the pot, yeah. 84% long still. Pretty heavy long tilt. If you get to that 74, could really be a fade spot. Caffeination station. Yeah, I'm gonna short that at 85% long. Fail of the 555 60 level. I want NVIDIA to fail now. Since NVIDIA didn't break out for me, maybe it'll fail for me. There's a nice little push in the delta, however. It's kind of buying in. 78% long. Alright, NVIDIA still kind of just hanging around. What's Microsoft doing? That's probably what's holding this up. Yeah, right to that 400.08. Tried to fail 400 a couple times, didn't. Seeing if it wants to here or if this is just going to be a bull flag type deal. Although the way our this looks nice for a short. I'm going to take this short if it takes it down. Yeah, I like this. If it does fail here, it was a heavy tilt long. It's a key zone. Microsoft's at 400, trying to break down, but now it's trying to break back up again. If it fails it again, maybe it rolls over. NVIDIA gave a little bit of a pop, but the market did not play along, so let's see if we can get this to fail. Maybe try and maximize this to the downside. Correct this. Damn, it's breaking again. Nope. Fail it. Now my NVIDIA is now popping, so looks like it's going to carry on to the upside. Tilt was super heavy. I didn't trust the tilt. That's really what this trade was, purely on a heavy tilt. So we're out. NVIDIA though popped off, back down 1,000. So we gave back a little bit. Still one good trade away. That tilt was super heavy long. I like that. NVIDIA once again trying to break out. Microsoft pushing through the highs here. Not the highs, but this more recent high at 400 level up to 450. Tilt still 77% long. I do feel that this, well, it's 9:56. I gotta wait till 10. So, gotta wait till 10. We were talking about this long. I wanted to cheat in with one here. Ended up not. Ended up adding a second. I did one long here, added a second. Got one off. Got the second one off. So, we did make some of that back. About about a little over 500 on that one. A couple of the other losses were a little bit oversized, and then that last loss was 200. So, we're gonna wait and see. 3 more minutes here. 3 more minutes till this closes. The hourly candle, I should say. The 30-minute also will show us that it's either going to return back into this area, 17,558, and then into this kind of wonky channel that I drew up, right, in that area. So we're going to watch it. S&P's still below that 49.97. So overall, still watching for a short to come back into play. I anticipated this to possibly get up to 600. I saw NVIDIA blow through the bottom, so I trailed out because I was not trying to get back a full little bit. I could have, and we would still be in the long here, but we did not. So that's just how we roll. 3 seconds. We have 2 more minutes till this hourly close. Looking to try and grind ourselves out of the hole today. I think we can get a failure of a breakout on one of these names. They're all good. Thank you. Microsoft, NVDA. Does it want to break 590 or not? 690. We got about a minute and a half left till we could actually enter something. We are looking to see if we can catch a short on a breakdown of that little temporary uptrend that we have coming. As we approach VWAP, as we approach 600, the heaviness of the market, this is a little bit of a reprieve. You are getting a steady delta buying, and you have a heavy tilt to the long side. So that, to me, gives me the idea that there's potentially some downside still left in this due to the tilt, getting heavier long. I do have to wait till 10 o'clock to actually enter a trade. So let's see what happens up here. If we can get some sort of push, maybe a little wick above one of these. We did try a long here before, failed. So that was our first little attempt at a long failure. So this could fail from here like it did before, right up above that 80. I would like to see this trend line kind of break down, but you wait for that thing to close below here and then just take the short afterwards. 20 seconds left and I can actually execute, but there's no setup currently. It's almost there, but we're going to start to see price do some little dancing at that hourly close, and then we can decide to get an entry involved. This was our first mess up there. We entered too soon. We had the order sitting there. That's really the only reason I left it, because I set it prior to that 5 minute, but the execution didn't happen, so I should have waited. Alrighty. 690, it failed. So if we can crack this little trend line below this volume node here, potentially could look to see 77% long. Take it 2 guys short. You can risk right up there. Delta's congruent. Price is pushing right up over that 82 level where we got triggered in before and then stopped. We have accepted into that channel again. We're above 558. I just want to see a failure of this breakdown, but that's a really nice looking delta. That was a really good push right up to that 600 level. We would have been very happy with that move there, but we bitched out. So here we are. The 600 was where we were looking to get to. 82% long. Let's see right now. 82% long. What's a one guy give me as far as risk is concerned? Maybe I'm going to look for one more push. Look for one more push. Okay, let's see if we can flush 600. Not flush it, break it. 575. 690 has broken on NVIDIA. Is it going to be a continuation, or is it going to be... Damn, man. That played out real nice. Hate when I don't execute properly. Microsoft back over 401. Continuing on the high side. 401.50 could be some area of interest. 401.80. 401.50 to 50 to 60. All right, NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft. Oh, like I said, Apple, I was expecting this to come down into that 180 level and start to get bid up. That's what the zone has been. Let's see what happens with that. I'm going to take one short here. If we could get this to continue down. This is the reason I'm taking this. We had a very heavy tilt. Delta started to creep in a little short. And NVIDIA and Apple were not quite playing through their levels. They were giving a little bit of a sell side move there. So I took a quick shot at it, see if it'll rotate on us. If we get the delta to kind of pop off here, and then price gets above 603, then maybe I'll take a short down back through 600. But I'm kind of front running 600 here. If we break through this now, if we could break through 74, maybe add one through here, and then I'll take profit on that first guy at the bottom there. NVIDIA is starting to sell a bit. I gotta get back through 690 though. If it's gonna hold 690, then we're gonna be bouncing. This is just a good sell area for me. It's a good zone. 600, delta divergence, heavy tilt, long. NVIDIA starting to sell. Apple was selling. Microsoft could be, but it's not. It was rallying. There's a little bit of a sell side move. So there we go. We got a little bit of a push down. I wasn't trying to risk too much on this. Trying to kind of get back some of our move here, but we're only going to risk to just above 600. If it comes and wicks us out, it comes and wicks us out. I don't want to risk more than that there on this trade. If we break through this trend line here, it's probably going to have to get through that 80. So let's get to 80. Then we'll get to break even. Nvidia's still pushing. Just broke through 690. I need to crack this trend line here. You can't hold that 80 level. It's got to get through 80. Get through 80. Sorry about my voice. Like I said, it's kind of a shitty day for my talking. Delta divergence, delta divergence, delta divergence. Looks like it's not playing along here. Price is trying to tick up. Delta said, no, we're not ticking up anywhere. So sellers are still here. If we can break through here, then I'm gonna get the break even. Yeah, I'm gonna do that now. I want to get stopped on this if it does pop here, because I don't want to be involved in that on a pop. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Buy the ticket, take the ride, right? We're gonna get over 600, like we said. Gonna keep the same risk. Let this thing fucking play. Patience pays. Let it do its thing. Nvidia's still rolling over. We should still get the big break. And the reason I have a add here is because if this candle breaks, then there's some stops involved there. Low volume node, shelf breakdown. Take one contract off at the volume area low, and then let the rest run to the downside. I said sells, you could hold it longer than the buys. That's what I want to see play out. Yeah, I saw that coming. Up 245. We're gonna go to break even. You know what? We're not adding. I got some bad feeling about an ad there. We're gonna stay above there and let this thing play. We're just gonna maximize the one contract here. I wanted to add below this low volume, high volume here, but I feel like when I'm in drawdown, I should not be doing that. Although the shorts should just pile in if the shorts come in, so that would have actually been nice. However, I'm not looking to do that. I'm just going to try and maximize my downside gain here as best I can. If we could break lows, fantastic. If not, so be it. I would really like this to get touched from here. Want to see it down to that volume area low. That would have got our contract on and then our contract off, and then we would be risk-free with this. But we're not doing that. Once we get down to 555 or even just in front of it at 560, I'm going to put my stop above 74. I did mention it, like I said, in my my write-up. You could hold shorts probably longer than you could longs. Take your profits on the way up a little bit. Limited targets to the high side, just based purely off of price action and based on NVIDIA having earnings and not wanting to play along. If NVIDIA fails at all, then the market's going to fail with it. Right now, you can see that it's kind of still pushing down. Microsoft, try and catch a bid, but I think it'll probably also start to give you a little bit of a failure there. Apple got a bit of a bounce. This is why I didn't do my ad, because I would have been a little more uncomfortable holding this, but I do want to hold this. I want to see how much downside we can get. We have Delta coming in our favor. The reason we took the short here is because Delta, because of heavy tilt long, we were at a key level at 600. We sort of front ran the 600 level a bit. And now we're just seeing if this trend line crack can hold and rotate us down. We're at break even, so if it rolls us back over, it is what it is. We're actually in profit. So we're going to see if we can take this all the way down. Yeah, I don't feel great. Thank you for pointing that out. I do not have a voice to talk, so we're trying to execute and be somewhat into this, excited, but I never get too high or too low anyway, so it's really just a matter of showing you how to execute on a plan, and my voice not working correctly. So we're going to get a little bit of coffee. This is why we didn't add here. I just had a feeling that there's going to be some bit of a mess here to get through. If you can get through these little wicks here at the bottom, the volume node, and hold through it, that should get that selling involved. Our value area changed. Our initial value area low was at 55. So this little node here is where that first target is. If we get to that node there, or actually it was 60. If we get to 60 and below, that stop is going to move to here. You got to secure about $350 on that, right? I would like to put my stop there now, but I don't want to get wicked out. I want it to confirm further to the downside. Getting back half of our drawdown for the day so far. The reason we didn't go in with the second guy or an add-on contract was because we just didn't trust this move here. We are getting Delta to play in our favor, so should get a continuation to push down. We are coming into the bottom end of our zone at 60. We have to break down through 60. Got to be above this wick here. And now if we get through 60, should give us that rotation long term, right? These are longer term charts. You get that breakthrough 60, rotate down to 25, and then hopefully through the lows. That's really where we're looking to get this thing to go to. But if we bounce, we can bounce. There is bounceability in this market. NVIDIA tried to fail, and it's playing along with that 685 and a quarter. Do I want to give this back? Do I want to let this thing play? I moved my stop right as we approached 60. We bounced right off of 60, so I think it's going to continue to fail. However, it's hard to not secure at least 250 of this, being in drawdown, trying to work my way back out. I'm letting this thing play, but it could still give you a pop at any time, and you don't want to be giving it all back, right? You can see NVIDIA bouncing off this level. You don't want to give it all back if it goes and rotates all the way back to highs again. Because some of these other names are stronger, right? Microsoft is stronger. It's pushing to the highs, right? Apple is trying to bounce and push through the highs again. NVIDIA is at lows and bouncing, so that could give you that initial bounce here. Do we get it on this and probably get stopped out? Probably here. You can only do so much with your trailing rules. I said if we get to 60, which we did, I'm going to put the stop just above these wicks, and now we're kind of still in. We're still good. As we get closer to 60 again, maybe I'll tighten up a bit more, trying to secure a touch more money. But really, our stop's in a good spot. If it comes back, it comes back. Need to get through that 60 level. S&P's helped us. It failed that 97 level. I'm sorry. I have no excitement in my voice. I have no voice. I'm just looking to see if I can rotate this to lows. This is why I didn't add a contract, like I said. It just didn't want to. I didn't think it was gonna be a perfect trade. I'd rather err on the side of caution on that. Microsoft failed that high, which is nice. It'll help us out. NVIDIA looking to break to lows again, but it's catching another bounce. Another bounce. I wanted to fail that 84. You can see bounce. I needed to go, but you're seeing that. I bet you 80 gets tagged. But it's holding 74s, so that's really the key level there, right? So our stop's in a good spot. We need to break 60 though. 60 is the key level. That should give us a little bit further of a push down. A break of 60 should get us down to at least a 50. And if we touch off on 50, then the stop's above 60, right? That's just how I work my trailing rule here. There's 60, 60, 60. We're sitting on it. Is it going to bounce or is it going to crack? Seems like it's bouncing. It's holding. Delta's trying to get us to break through. Not a ton of delta pushing to the high side. It's still not showing me like a rejection level on the delta where you're getting pushes through it and a divergence the other direction. So if you get a good delta candle here, good push through to the bottom, 60, get through 60. There we go. A breakthrough 60 should get us down to 50 now. If it doesn't, a failure rotates us back to highs. It looks like it's going to hold 60. Come on now. Get through 60 again. Hold it. Hold the 60 level. Come on now. Delta's still congruent, right? We're still getting similar delta. Similar move is not popping. So we should still get that rollover. But if not, like I said, there's a volume node here at 60. It needs to go from 60 to 50 for me to move my stop to 60. 70, and from 60 to 70 now. What's Softy doing? Trying to use these names to help me out. We kind of got a little bit of a wedge pattern forming at the top. NVIDIA still bouncing above. Apple, that was a wick bottom at 60. Probably now. Rotate the highs. I said if it doesn't hold 60, a rotate to the highs is possible. Once again, stop is in a good spot. I think if it cracks our stop, it cracks all the way up. So we should be okay here. I'm glad I didn't do the ad. Because I was waiting for... I would have... Actually, technically, I would have already had it off. Secure 220. Sorry. Waiting... Patiently waiting. There's a push. Delta's now starting to push higher. Price is pushing higher. Still wicking that level. I think that level really wants to sell off. There's just buyers at 60 and below. This is dead center of my range, of my liquidity zone. So, like I said, it's from 60 to 80, I think, is the top is really 80-ish, 83 and a quarter. So, the high end, this little volume node there to the 60 level. This is the value area, right? So, we're right in the middle of it, if not closer to the higher end of it. So, I wouldn't be surprised if it does wick off 83 and then come back down. However, 74 is acting very strong for us, so we're gonna just leave our stop where it is. If Microsoft breaks highs, then so be it. There we go. We're out. At least we secured about a couple hundred. We're back to 750, down to 759. So that was a good trade. Aside from those first two, we really are managing these pretty well. Like I said, 83. If it wicks it, you could possibly look to see if it's going to go the other way. Look to see if we get another entry soon. JetBlue, take profit. Get Get rid of those. Stop step X. 71% long on the tilt. Microsoft's failing again. NVDA catching a bounce. I want to see if it'll get back to that 600 level. If not, we're going to look to see if we can catch another short soon. Apple basing on the highs. Microsoft failing highs. Delta's getting heavy. Crack 60, then we should flush. That 83 really trying to screw us over, huh? Delta wants to get heavy. You could see that Delta getting heavy. Tilt's only 58% long. Maybe get one more wick off top. If we get above that 83 again, or into that area, I'll set a stop order below 74. See if we can get ourselves back involved in the short. I don't want to get in at 60 because I know that's an important level, but I don't want to get in there. It's only 10 points. We did buy ourselves another trade there, so it's really all I'm looking to do is try to buy myself another trade. NVIDIA does not want to break out. We're in my liquidity zone. There's a lot of things that are playing in my favor. A short of 60 isn't terrible. It just doesn't limit my downside, right? I need to risk a bit more than I would like to. I want one more push up. It's this thing here. The bottom of here to there. If I do it, I have to only go one contract on it. 51% long. NVIDIA could fail that high. I will short the 60 level. I want it down here. I can risk myself to there. Apple trying to push through the base of the bottom of this little bull flag that it's got forming. NVIDIA is still trying to work with this 684 bottom, and Microsoft was at highs, and it's giving me this little wedge pattern that I think if it breaks down, then we could rotate back down to 400. And if that's the case, then the short still is in play here. I'm entering below 60 here if it plays. I was considering going in with 2, but I'm only going to go in 1. I'm going to go in light, but I'm going to try and maximize this downside. I don't want that there, though. I think we got a little bit more downside in us today. There's a good wick of the bottom. See if it continues or if it's going to fail. Microsoft's breaking that bottom there. Let's see if NVIDIA is also cracking lower. It is, but if it bounces off of 694 again, then we're going to be out probably. I'm trying to maximize this downside pressure. I really think that this delta right here should give us further push. But that was a little wick grab there. Microsoft. I could get a second on and then let the first one off down here. Add a second if it breaks down. Take the first one off right there. And then just really limits our risk a lot. This is a short based on a fade of his zone. 60 is the bottom end of this liquidity zone. We wicked the high end of it. Now we're trying to rotate through the bottom. Microsoft got to the level where it's just been kind of sitting at the top. NVIDIA keeps getting to 684 and bouncing, but it's getting no follow through on the bounce, right? So that's really why I took this short. And then Apple also just it's making lower highs. So, and that was a really good delta push to the bottom. If it doesn't want to fail, then it doesn't want to fail. If it does fail, then we're going to get another one on. But it looks like it wants to run up to the high again here. 570. Reasonably speaking, if this wicks that there and then rotates down, then we should be good. If not, we're going to get stopped out, which it looks like we are. We're stopped on that. Down 1,000 again. We're just kind of floating in this little range of down, up, giving it back. Down 10.29. This is including fees. Really, we're down 990 on executions. Microsoft. Yeah, take it to whatever at 11. That makes sense. I liked this delta push to the downside. That's why I took that short there. All these other names are kind of just holding us up. NVIDIA's at that spot where it's going to go a little. Tilt is 74% long, so that to me gives me some confidence to take that where the entry would have been. There we go. We're short there at 70. There is downside push to this. Possibly, like I said, head at 60. Take that first one off here. We're gonna keep getting run over. Then we're gonna keep getting run over. It's just on me. It was heavy tilty long. I like the short when it's heavy tilty long. I like the delta diverging. I like being at a level that's been failing. So we're going to get close to that add and we're going to get to break even and then really try and maximize this by getting one off at 550 and moving our trail with it as we go. Hopefully we can get Microsoft to fail the bottom and that'll just continue to add to our pressure. You can see Delta trying to push hard to the downside. Sellers are coming in. So we do have that on our side. I think one good trade here is all we need. Obviously, it's all we ever need, but this could be where we get it. But it could also be where we don't. You know, Microsoft trying to push towards the high. NVIDIA still, every time, just try to bounce off that 84. One of these times, 84 is going to break. 3 more minutes, possibly, it could. Apple, Microsoft. Sorry about my voice. Continuously sorry about my voice today. We're just trying our best here to grind this day out. What time is my haircut? 12 o'clock. I got a haircut at 12, so I got to be off before 11:30. Look at that thing bounce. Look at it bounce. Right off that zone. I keep opening folders when I want to not do that. I want to do this. Microsoft broke the high. And that's probably where we're going to end up. Fuck me. Just not seeing it today, I guess. Well, maybe it'll fail. NVIDIA starting to get some sell side. The emotional roller coaster of trading. You're getting a little bit of a bid here. I do want this to crack down a bit more. Grab. If it breaks, then it should break. But if it holds, then it's going to rally on up. You got a large sell order there at 78. Seconds till this 30-minute candle closes. With Microsoft rallying like that, and the market's not playing along, it's definitely an NVIDIA-driven market. $30. Like I said, there was a seller there at 78. It looked like it got front run. I want to break 60 so bad. I think if we do break 60, I should get filled on that first off. Four, three, two, one. Indecision candle in the middle of the range. See if this one can get some selling involved now. European markets are closed. We're starting to push down, starting to get that wick to the downside. NVIDIA really trying to get through 84. Could this be the time it does? Like I said, it was 3 minutes to the close of that 30-minute. Possibly now NVIDIA breaking through that bottom. Can Microsoft fail highs? Can Microsoft fail highs? It looks like it wants to. Apple, NVIDIA, there we go. Come on, baby. This is the time where it needs to break it and hold. And if it does, I get off. I'm going to get this on and off pretty fast, I'm guessing. Microsoft's failing the high. Good. NVIDIA. Trying to push that 84. Still bouncing off of it. Still giving you that kind of chop fest there, but maybe everybody else will give up and start to sell since NVIDIA can't crack above 87. Tilt's still longer, so I'm still happy with the short. There we go. I'm going to get break even on this because if it bounces right here. It'll bounce hard. And then we're going to need to do whatever we need to do with this as it plays. Throw that up there. There's the flush. There's the big push to the downside. I said if 60 cracked this time, it should crack hard. We're at break even on it. If it doesn't roll over here, then so be it. But I think it should. If it does, I mean, I think it's crazy if it doesn't. We're going to be in the middle of this range here. Okay, so we got one off. The other one, our initial break even was going to be up here. So we got that one contract off. We're going to let this thing roll over and see how far it could go. I said 500, 550, I should say, was that first target. We got off there. So now we're just letting this thing roll over. We got one off, and now we have just one left to continue this thing to the downside. I think this crack should give us that push. Like I said if I got the add-on, I was going to get the next one off. That's probably what was going to happen. So we are there with that. NVIDIA did crack that 84. Microsoft rolling below after the failed breakout to the high side. I said probably has down to 400 if it continues to break to the downside, right? So we need to see if it'll get down to 400. Apple, I'm sure, is doing the same. Yep. And NVIDIA looking to hold below that 684. If it does, then we should be fine. Trying to maximize the gain on this to get ourselves from red to green on the day. And then I think we could get big green if we could get this to get down to that 21s. and below, because if we crack that 21, that kind of cancels out this entire buy side move. It was pretty much just grabbing some liquidity on the way up. We're sitting right on that level. Next little shelf is at 40. So if we get to 40, our stop's going to be above 50. We're at 60 right now because that was the breakout point. But every 10 points wouldn't be bad to trail it. So there we go. We're above this little wick at 53. So we have secured at least some of this move. We're going to let it be patient, push it to the downside. We didn't panic at all today. We continue to enter our good positions. We had two shitty losers that we just, maybe got a little bit excited on. And, now we're kind of trying to just cancel those out with a good downside push, good pressure. There we go. That's a good little flush there of that 40 liquidity zone. I see nothing but downside for this for the time being. I'm going to try and be very, very patient with it as best I can. I want this thing all the way down to this yellow zone over here. Will I be able to trail it that well? I don't know, but we're going to try our best to not get shaken out. Next line in the sand is that 30, then the 21, right? If we get to 30, we got to be above 40s. We're right near there now. It's just too heavy to be wanting to trail too tight. It's not fast. It's heavy. There's difference. Remember, I was talking about if it's a fast move, fast trail, I am into that. But I also said that I'm going to try and hold my shorts longer than my longs as I come into the week. So that's where I'm at with that. I'm going to go just above 40 since we did hit that 30 level, right? 10 points at a time. I'll continue to secure. There is a heavy seller right there. So reasonably speaking, should just leave this and then just mark it out as I see getting out would be worth it. But I don't mind getting wicked out on these trades. I think if we crack 21, like I said, we could hit lows and beyond. There's just nothing holding us up too much except for that 26, that 21 to 26. So we got right to that level right there, that 26.50. If we could get through it, then we should be fine. Do I want to leave my stop at the high, or do I want to get stopped out at 40? I don't think so. I think that there's enough sellers here that'll hold us. And then if not, a pop gets us all the way back to break even. I don't like that. So NVIDIA is continuing to be heavy. Microsoft also just not quite to 400. So it still has that little bit of room left down to 400. Apple, I would love to see it down to 180, but I don't think it's going to get there. It's probably, unless this market continues to fucking melt. Whew. Alrighty. Really helped ourselves out here with this excellent short. I'm happy that I added. We're going to look to see if we can crack that 21. If we can crack 21, I want to see lows, to be honest. If we can get through 21 and hold. S&P's is trying to get to their lows. So if we can get to our lows as well on the NASDAQ, hold this little break of this bottom end of the channel, right? That's going to be the only thing that kind of concerns me here is this right there. And the 20 levels. It really likes to bounce off that 20 level. So just be careful here. Really, I probably could trail up to the high end of this 30-minute and be safe at 75, but I don't want to do that. I want to secure my money as it comes. And I'll just look for another short. I mean, really, we just went red to green right there on our move. So anything below 21 is going to be gravy for us. I think if we can crack that 21, we're going to be really, really happy. I did mention I'm trying to hold shorts this week longer than longs. I think bounces will get faded. And I think the fades, the shorts, will kind of pile in a little bit just based on the nervousness. And if NVIDIA is the one that's leading the downside pressure, then that's what I need to happen. It's going to pop. It's probably going to take us out here and then roll us over because it's still holding below 684. I just don't want it to rally all the way back up. So I'm going to secure some of my monies right there at above the 40 level. And like I said, if I get stopped out there, I'll watch and I'll see if I can get another entry. To go from down, 1,300 to work ourselves back to where we're at right now, pretty happy with it. Overall, down 290, but we were even. If we can get through, our stop's in a really good spot, right? Like we came right to a tick and we, faded it a little bit. So we're fading our stop, which our stop means our stop was sufficiently high enough over 40 with the NASDAQ whippy action to hold us. If it does break that wick, then it's likely to continue all the way up. So that's where we are as far as this stop is concerned. I'm going to leave it there because I feel like if it gets wicked out, it's going to give back more money than I want to give back, right? So this is just, I want to see it crack 21. If we can crack 21, I'll get to 30 with my break even. I mean, with my trailing stop. And then everything below 21 is going to be kind of gravy train short. I want this wick here to be a true wick and a sell. But if, like I said, if it breaks the high of this wick, then it's probably along up to break even, or even up to that high note at 550. So I don't want to give that much back. That 21 obviously is a key point, so we want to see this roll. We want to see it roll, and we're out. We're flat. Okay, so we're flat, down 340. Very good. Very happy with that move. Basically caught $1,000 on it, right? Trade 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, $700 ish. So down 342. All right. Happy with that. Took our good short there, added on, took one off. We gave back a little bit. You know, I wanted to see 21 break with that kind of heaviness that we had going on. Can't be too tight with your stop. You know, I could have trailed it all the way down here, secured a little bit more, but I wanted to let it breathe. I said I'm going to try and hold shorts a little longer than I'm going to hold longs this week. So that was the reasoning behind that. So at least I had a plan. I stuck to my plan, and we went from there. If we get one more good one, we're going to be back to green on, and then probably pretty heavy green, I would say. You can see price tried to push up again. Delta's getting heavy again. Let's see what NVIDIA is doing. Big wick there. Microsoft, MSFT, not MSTY. Back to there and looking to short from there. Apple, wicking above the high. Let me watch the video again. The bottom end of this right here, remember I said this is going to concern me a bit. I probably could have looked to get down to 33. Secured another 200, but that was just purely, like I said, if it would have held down there and broke and continued, there's a ton of downside for that. I would not be afraid to reshort if we get back into here above, into that 60 area, wick 60, and then try and rotate back down again, right into that 60 zone here, right? I said that. I would not be surprised if that's kind of what goes on. I also mentioned if it cracks our level here, 550 is pretty much guaranteed, which it looks like it is. You can kind of just understand the way price wants to act. It wants to get to those high volume nodes. It wants to go where orders were, or where it thinks orders are, right? It wants to take price to where stuff will get executed, right? So we got a 100 lot sitting at 555. 100 lot at 555 could be just a stop order, or it could be a new seller coming in. Could be a take profit, I should say, but he kind of came and went. He's not quite there. Here's another 100 lot right there, 553. So he's front running that 550 level. Could look to get into that. There's one there, 123 lot at 549. Looks like people are going to try and pour into this short. You can see these larger red, yellow orders are here. They're just above in that 550, 549 to 550 level. The darker the color, the more the size. But this yellow is 100. This is 100. There's 100 lots all the way, a bunch of 100 lot orders up into 555. But then also down here you got 40 lots. One 100 lot down here at 32. So let's just watch it, be mindful of it, see what happens at that 550 level with all this size sitting up here. This is a delta divergence. Flat, pop. Let's see, is there a tilt? A heavy tilt? No, 53% long. .53% long, huh? Delta's pushing harder now. What's NVIDIA doing? NVIDIA sitting down below 684. I think there's somebody up here at that 50 to 55 that wants to get filled on a larger sell. So watch what happens up there. Let's see if that's actually the case or not, or if it's just going to get run over. Last time I noticed it, I kind of got ran over on it, and then it happened after the fact. So I might want to get this thing up into 60, and then if anything fails 50, then the sellers probably come back in. So you see, it was 55, right? I said. We'll go back to the book. There's one here. It's not there right now. It looks like it got pulled. It's cold here, but it's selling off. So 50 wick, 50 wick. Price wants to get drawn to these bigger orders. There's a push up, push up, push up. Some size at 55 still, and then at 57 there's some size as well. Then there's a trailing stop here at 42, something that's coming on up. So I think if they get stopped out, plus any sort of, you do have a 30-minute divergence also, a higher low. 55s. 55s is that bigger order. NVIDIA's pushing higher. Microsoft. It's in that sell spot. Apple. Also. I think 55 was that big sell order. I would like to see it wicked hard. Give you like a failure, and then I'll take a short on it. I want tilt to creep up to that 70, 75, 80%. Sort of a grind of a day for me, but very happy with how we've been executing over the last, just being a little bit more patient and also being aggressive with securing some of our profits. And we were a little bit loose on this trail, end up getting stopped out. I think we do still have some downside potential here. 997 held nice in the so you did get a wick there up to 555, or just shy of it, 554 and a quarter. Give me one more good wick. You see the delta not playing along. You could possibly get top step tilt going 61% long. It's not heavy enough yet. I want to see it tilt. I want it to get like 75, 80%. It'll help us out. Oh, I gotta pay for my haircut, so let's see if we can get above back to green here. Like I said, two guys below 50. I think if we fail here, we fail this level, and then we are stopped above here. I want to take one off at the bottom, one off here. We'll see what happens. Purely based on that huge order at 55. And then NVIDIA just popped its head above 684. The tilt is 63% long. Let's see if it'll tilt up a little bit more. These got these wicks. Delta's diverging. 62% long. NVIDIA is at a sell spot for me. Microsoft trying to creep back into that little bit of a range. Bounce pretty much around that 400, 430, 425. I think we could sell from here. I front ran it a little bit. Let's see what happens with it. We get to here, 110. Let's see. Front ran that large order, the 55 order, and my stop is at that 55. So if it does come up to get filled, then it does. I'm gonna kind of be a little tight on this one. Maybe I'll take off one. Nah. I'm going to take off one at the bottom. I'll trail the whole thing, though, to secure profits on it. Short pops. That's what I'm doing here. Trying to be patient, let the thing roll a bit. Get down to 540. We can get down to 540. This will be break even. And then we'll go see if we can maximize some of this. This is purely kind of just based on the level and the tilt and the divergence and NVIDIA being at a spot where it should short again. One more time. But if we're not going to play along, also front running a large order at 55. Awesome. Good to hear. Coffee was fantastic. No complaints. That's what I like to hear about my coffee. Fantastic. Sitting right in a little bit of a green, not playing along. There we go. Come on, push down. Push. Need you to get to 40. If it gets to 40, we're going to break even. Well, really, it should be below 55. Oh, there's a good pop. But now we're getting back down. Below 50. Get below 50. Like I said, I front ran that guy. I'm trying to see if I can get him to sell it. That 550 wants to sell. Come on, get the 40s. Get the 40s. Look at those wicks. Look at those wicks. That's something that tells me there's a seller here. He wants to get filled. He had some size. Come on now. Fill it and get to the downside. Get heavy. Get heavy. One time. If we get back above 50, I'm going to be out. I'm taking that stop there. I don't want an oversized loss on this. Although those wicks are nice. Come on now. Microsoft. There we go. Come on now. You gotta yell at it sometimes. I don't know. 40. Get to 40. Get to 40 to get me to break even. NVIDIA flirting with this 684. Wanting to sell from it, just not. There it goes. Okay, come on. I'm going to break even on it in 2 seconds. Come on now, Dick. Don't be an asshole. Sell like you want to go. Good clean fun here. Good clean fun. Price trying to push up higher, but the delta is not. There's no buying coming in up here. So I don't get this not selling off harder, faster, quicker. Here we go. Come on now. There's the break of 40, and we're at break even. So now we're going to get this flush. Let's go. Come on now. Break down. Break down all the way. Give me to the fucking lows, baby. Break through 21. Let's go. Break it. Break it, break it, break it. NVIDIA flushing. Oh, man. Just kind of getting held up here. I'm taking that stop there. I'm out. I saw something happen in there that I didn't like. So I took that. We're down 261. Good. Grabbed ourselves another $100. Getting ourselves very close to break even. Not really over trading, but we are feed. That's going to probably sell harder now. We're at 205 on actual without fees. So looking good on the sell here. I pussied out a little bit on that bounce based on the way it really wicked up. Our idea was good. Sell order, sell order, sell order, sell order. NVIDIA is just getting to this area where it likes to bounce and it's just continuously fucking with us. So I just got out. We would have been off on one at 30. We're grinding. We are grinding. One good trade, baby. That's all it takes. to see here if we can get one more good entry. NVIDIA, if it cracks this base here, still have lots of room to the downside. So, not following in here. We're not doing that. We have 2 more minutes till we can't execute a trade here. So NVIDIA still is cracked the low, the previous low. Looks like it's going to kind of continue to be heavy. We front ran that. We would have had one off, and we would have been even. Enzo did not want to play along. What was I looking for? I gotta see what time my appointment is. So. I forget. Very difficult for me to find these things. We're looking forward to seeing you today at 12 o'clock. Yeah, 12 o'clock. So, got a couple more minutes before I got to bounce. The selling is coming in. There's the idea right there. The wicks, the large order sitting at 555. I bitched out. It is what it is. Kind of just played the old failed breakdown. We're just kind of waiting to see if we can get a little bit more of an entry here. 21 once it cracks. Looking to see maybe you can rotate it all the way through to the lows. Like NVIDIA bouncing here. Could get another bounce from NVIDIA, which could also carry this up, right? You can see there's a wick here. It's a good bounce point. This is a good bounce point. It's also a good bounce point here, but we are cracking that 25 level. So if I can get just a little bit of a move here down to 500 would be really ideal. Down surface, you got some size here at 512. That's 130 lots, 109. Flashing a 136. So right in between some larger size here. Up here we got 128. So people sitting, within that 10-point range here on either end of it. Need to see what Microsoft's doing. Has room to 400. If it cracks 400, look out. Apple. There you go. I'm selling one. A strong flush through 21 tells me that there's going to be some moves, at least to 5. We get to 500, then we're going to trail this tighter. Yeah, we're going to tear. We'll break risk-free here. If I stopped out, there we go. 226 still. Secured a little bit. 226. Oh, not down 2,000, 226. We're down 226. Very close to getting that even. If we fail that, might look to go rotate it to the long side. Just based on how rotational we've been today, you get this impulse move up, fall, breakdown, bounce, continue to fade. If you get a bounce of 500, maybe get something on the other end of it and look to rotate it back to higher locations. We did really like this level here, the 555. I do want to just draw this up as a reminder. This is a very important level for me moving forward. It's pretty much from there to there. And like I said, it's that 60 level is super important. Grind of a day here. I think we could rotate back up. Excuse me. back up. I want to see what Microsoft is doing. Right at 400. Can it bounce from here, or is it going to continue to flush? That's what really is going to drive this thing. Microsoft, right at 400. You can see it's cracking. Hit 400, bounce. This 407 level is the pre-market low. That's just above that, actually. So we have cracked that, and now we are looking to push down even further. Not getting anything on the delta to push us higher. I want to get above, maybe wick above 21, and then short down through it again, down to 5. This is important here. Just drawing it up. And then we have the low. We were short from here. Got stopped out, and then the move happened. Kind of just was very nervous with the bounce in NVDA that held us up. Microsoft now. And then I also didn't like the way that the candle was looking. ES broke the low. We didn't break the low in the NASDAQ, though. Patience pays. 11 o'clock. I'll stay on until 11:30, and then I got to go get a haircut. Or maybe I'll stay on until 11:15, depending if I get another trade or not. It's just caffeinate. Caffeination station. We were down about 1,300. Now we're only down 226. So I'd say that's a good $1,000 win there. Yes, the day is red, but it's been a very good, well executed, except for some of these trails here. But I cut my losses. You know, I think that this is gonna be a loss. I'm gonna take it for break even. I don't care. But I did say if we do. So really, what I was looking for here, I got my one off, and then I wanted to crack this 21. And then trail. But we trailed up here. It came up a little higher than we anticipated, and then now it's giving us that full rotation as expected. It's a heavier market. I'm going to look for a pop to short maybe one more time. If we can get into up in this area here, let's see what the heat map looks like. Some larger size there at 505. So maybe we get back above 5. Get back above 505, then short back down. You're really looking at this higher end here, maybe 530, creep back into there, and then short the 21 level again. We do like to fade extremes, so technically we haven't broke the low yet. My initial target from any sort of short here was going to be this yellow zone, so we're approaching it. If we could bounce from that, that would be a good long opportunity. NVIDIA looking to continue to push a little bit higher, but it's not. It's selling off. So Microsoft's below 4. Sellers are going to pour in. Breakout, push, roll. You're really looking at this here as well. That's kind of really right where we were at. Give or take a couple ticks. If you want to even use that as the level. You peaked above it, failed. Peaked above it and failed. So something along the lines of that here. Maybe at that 540 level. If you don't continue straight down from here. NVIDIA. Okay. Tilt is 59% short. If it gets a little heavier short, then a bounce play could come in. But S&P's is selling off nicely through the bottoms. If I can get one more good short, get ourselves back to even and into the green, start our week off right. Although I think we have, I mean, we didn't start green, but we've basically come back to a really good point from where we were. We've executed very nicely. We've stuck to our trailing, even though, you know, it cost us some of our moves. But you just got to be understanding of what you're doing and kind of just make sure that you execute it every time. Otherwise, if you're inconsistent, then you're gonna see inconsistent profits, and your profit curve is gonna kind of diminish. I want Microsoft back above 4. S&P just leading us to the downside. If I can get one more good pop up to that 21, you could short 500. Not gonna get there though. It doesn't seem. Slowing down a bit. Short is 66% on the tilt. Could look to see a small pop on it if it gets any heavier. I want to see Microsoft get above 4. And if you can hold above 4 and start to push, then this becomes a reversal play. You're getting the delta divergence here too. You can see it. You can see that buyers are coming in, and then every time we try to make a new low, like right here, the sellers did not come in and play it. Now, if this one does, and you get a bigger delta push, which it looks like it's trying to, then that negates our divergence, right? It negates it a bit, but really still there. Trying to make new lows, not making new lows on the delta. So, you know, a quick little pop right here could give us a nice little W. Then we could risk to the low. And just to catch, even look like that little piece, that'll get us back. We're going to be quick with our profits on longs. We're not going to go as heavy into longs. Still didn't break that low, but price is trying to break lows. $480 has a buyer. 147 down there. Okay, let's see what happens down here. Based on the delta divergence, a little bit heavier, not super heavy, but 62 short. I mean, shorts are creeping up a bit on the tilt. I do think we have down that 461, but if I can get a pop above 503 with this delta divergence, I want to get it up to the 21s, and then I could trail out as it goes. There's the bottom break. That's when you need to see break. You can see that break, then that's when you get it. 66, 65% short. Heavier, not too heavy. Congruent with the S&Ps. Sellers are in. The harder trade is long. I think you do get slight pop. Very, very slight. You know. That's $200. That's 545. Not trying to call the bottom. I think it's just a temporary pop. It's just not following through with some of these other names to the downside that could. And then Apple is rallying. You can see price trying to push down and delta pushing up. I'm going to give it one shot long. What's the risk here? 200. One shot long at it. Waiting. I'm waiting on that. I'm going to let it get up there. That's a wick bottom, though. There's a break of the bottom. If it comes right back above it, then you can see this thing pop. But you need to see it's NVDA. Nope, NVDA flushed, so there's that breakdown. So that idea probably invalidated. Boom. New low, congruent. The move could happen down to 41. That's really where our target was, right? 461, I'm sorry. You can see, same deal here. All about the same. Does it crack above 92 and then pop front run 61? 80s. Right back above the delta bottom. Apple holding up. So Microsoft or NVIDIA gets back up to those levels, starts to buy up, the range bound day could come back in. I'm going to flatten that. I don't want it to get triggered. That was an idea on a divergence. We are now making lows. This trade idea right here played out beautifully. We took our first contract off and we trailed out above this big volume node here. Obviously, price got back into there. We got back in, and we bitched out on this wick where it flushed and came right back hard. Really, we should have never even been out of this trade, trailing it properly. But that's just me. Scared money don't make no money. And that's what that was there. Because really, we anticipated the lows breaking down to 461. And that's where we would have been at right there. So all good. We got Delta now playing long side. Buyers are coming in here. NVIDIA gave a nice wick above 80, and now it's coming back down. What's Microsoft doing? Pushing up higher. If it gets over 400, then this level comes into play here. I think we do get a bid here. I think we could catch a bid. Quick little bid. I like that, but that was a really nice liquidity grab there for the NVIDIA shorts. If it cracks the low again, then it's probably off to the races to the downside, but I think it could be range bound here. We'll buy one market with a stop loss, going to be 40 ticks. That's all we're going to risk on that if we do hit a market order. Look at that manipulative candle. A few more minutes. Stay on. If I don't get a trade, I don't get a trade. It is what it is. If I end up coming back on later, I'll just probably throw the stream on anyway. I got a haircut at 12. And after that, I'm going to try and come back. Get everything back squared away. See if I can get something to trade, and then go pick up my son from school, and then enjoy the rest of the day no matter what. So right now, anything we're taking, we're going to really limit our risk and then just try and trail our profits out. Microsoft's still popping down. NVIDIA is still giving that rollover. I think 461 is still that bounce play location. 461. You broke down again. Didn't get a full delta push. Okay, alrighty. We had a really excellent trade up there. Did not trail it out properly. I mean, we did according to what I saw, so I'm not really too concerned about it. Limited my downside on it, but also limited my upside. So it is what it is. Shit happens. We're going to look to see if we can catch the bounce over here. I want to see what the tilt is. Tilt's at 53% long. I don't like that. Still probably is downside pressure. Pretty much grinding out. Not much to do right here. I need to see some more of a push. You're getting that delta now to push down, play along. Like I said, you probably do get that push to 61. We were short from 60, 560. So 560 to 460 is 100 points. That's a really nice move. But she happy. Our ideas were good today. Everything that we tried to do, it drew us down a little bit. But overall, I mean, if we go to our trade performance, I think that's this. We've been just steadily up. We're working our way back up. We're right there on it. So we are almost back to that even. Took 2 losses, and then we've been grinding out ever since. Pretty much win, lose, win, lose, win, win, win. One more winner, and we're back to green on the day. Delta's playing along now. Should get the final push to the downside. S&P's is pushing. Overall, like I said, yes, we're negative 226 after fees. We're really down 165 on our trades, but the fees is important. 226. Just really looking to see if we can get back to even. If not, no big deal. We did battle ourselves back today. We're not trying to just force in something now just to force it in. We're looking for our setups. We are looking at this extreme here to catch a little bit of a bid. Nothing crazy. Just a bounce play here. But we have to have some confluence in it. The shorts are only 55% short. So we don't have like a heavy short, and our delta is still pushing down congruently, so we probably do get a little bit further down to that yellow zone. And we will see, can we bounce? Dome surface. Do we get a little bit of a bounce here? 461, like I said, there's something going on there. There's a large cell there. That one is on 11, 12, 26? 26. I don't think it's done at all. I think there's tons of room to the downside. That's just what I mentioned. We do have room all the way down to that level there, 450. Probably, like I said, 461 is that like most recent line in the sand. Microsoft still just getting heavy through there. NVDA. I think we're just going to continue to have like this downside pressure through earnings, and then it'll give people an opportunity to buy a pop or continue to sell it off. Apple holding for now. Let's see what happens here. A couple more minutes to go. Taking 0 bathroom breaks today, but I definitely need it. Crushing this coffee. Daytradingcoffeecompany.com. Coffee Co. Daytradingcoffeeco.com for all your coffee needs. I don't know if you noticed earlier in the stream, once I started pouring myself some nice little cups of coffee, I actually started catching some good trades. So it does fuel your P&L for sure. Absolutely. I'm going to look for a bounce here at 461 if I can get a little bit of a wiki move just to catch a quick one. Just from this zone. I don't want to risk the whole zone, but could build into a position there because that zone is here all the way down to 425, so I would like to wait for that one more so than the one that's shown up on this chart. Like I said, there's bounce plays to be had at 461 to 464, which is right there, just happened, right off of 464. Now I want to see if we can get a little bit of one more wick down and then a crack above this little fucking thing here. I'm sorry. All you gotta do is just keep grinding. I've blown plenty of PAs. I've blown plenty of funded accounts. That 25K PA in Apex, probably the hardest thing to keep, especially with that trailing drawdown. Just you got to be really mindful of your size on that small of an account with the amount of room that they give you. So there's your push down to 61. Delta's congruent. I do have a bounce play idea here at 461. Just price is just so heavy. I'm being much more patient. If you do like Apex, I would say go. It's good because it's cheap. Whatever. Don't be afraid of heading over to Top Step, trying them out. I also have been trying out Take Profit. Take Profit's a little bit more. It's similar to Apex because of the trailing drawdown, but their payout rules are a lot better than Apex's. So, it's a double-edged sword. So I would check out a few different prop firms, and I'm not anti-Apex. I've been with them before. I'm not opposed to going and trying to do it again, but you really have to be quick with your profits and everything like that. All right. Where's the short 55%? It's a pretty just even selling going on right now. Getting a bounce a little bit on NVDA here. I wouldn't hate to catch just a slight bounce off of here. Risk just to the bottom of the day if it does crack this high. If it cracks this, I'll take a long and I'll risk to the bottom here. And I'm just going to be quick with it. I sort of kind of cheated on that, front ran it a little bit. Only one contract. Looking to just catch a quick bounce off that 61, 64 level. If we could get it up there into that 80, then I'm going to really trail tight. They're up there. Get above 80s. We're up 100 on it. Come on, baby. Bounce. Give me a little bounce here. Nah, it's just not playing along. Come on now. Get up over that 100. Get up to 80s. Like I said, if we can get up to 80s, we could be starting to trail a little tighter. I think this will give us a slight bounce here. I'm going to get a break even. If it takes me out, it takes me out. I'm good with that. Flatten that. Just can't trust this bounce yet. We are up or down 210. Just one more trade. Looking for that one quick hit, but not trying to really force it in. That was just me being really quick with this 210 with a bounce at a location that if it was going to bounce, it was going to go fast. Do have the delta diverge. If we could get one more wick down and then break above, then that's a better setup. And we have Microsoft just kind of grinding it down as well. Apple holding, wants to maybe bounce off this zone here. That'd be nice. Yep, I'm pretty much I'm at realistically down 145 plus fees, 210, $60 in fees. Just executing properly, right? Using my risk management to my advantage and being able to see where there's some zones where buying should come in or selling should come in, and just, I did kind of fuck myself here on this because I saw this liquidity coming in. I saw the big order there. I front ran it. I did everything right. I just got scared out by this crazy price action through this volume node. It was so fast. I said, I'm going to take this just past break even. And what do you know? We're at our target now. So we're seeing the market well. We just got to be able to execute and just manage it a little bit more as the week goes on. I'm perfectly content with what's going on. A couple more minutes, and then I got to cut out. Got to go get a haircut, and then I'll probably come back on later. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. once again. This looks like it's diverging a touch. Let me see what the tilt says. 60% long. Nope, don't like it. Don't like it. Apple, quick bounce. NVDA, also top end of a lower high. Microsoft, same deal. Trying to push lows. Could get even further down. I'd really be more interested down at 450. This bottom end of this little yellow zone. Maybe one more good push to the downside. Get a wick bottom and have Delta be like it is. Then you can get that maybe a little bit of a pop up to 490, 500. And that could be the end of the day right there. Right? If we do this here, if you just buy above this level there, with the Delta not making new lows, if you get like a wick of this bottom and a rotation back through this high, right here, like kind of how it's playing, then you could get that push and that rotation back up. There's a pop, a little bit of a pop. Delta's trying to go. I would love to see this thing up into here. Nothing crazy, just trying to. I would definitely like to see it up to 503, but 500 would be nice. Just based on this Delta divergence here, trying to push down, didn't push down. Delta's popping up. 64 was a good level for a bounce. 61, 64. So that's just where my idea lies. I'll try this long one more time here, just to see if the idea plays out. You're getting a little bit of a bid on Microsoft. NVIDIA also catching a little bit of a bid. And Apple also, it's at the high end of this range. I would like to see it. I would have liked to see that pop already, but NVIDIA pushing up. You can see NVIDIA giving you that little bit of a pop. That should get us some sort of buying in this NQ here. Like I said, if I get to 80, I'm going to start to trail it a little tighter. You can see the Delta pushing up. There are buyers coming in here. I only have a couple minutes, so I gotta kind of be quick with this. Just not quite getting that pop. Get above that. Get to 80. If it gets to 80, we'll just hit break even, and then we'll just see what happens. Video ripping right up there and just not playing along with us, huh? Thanks a lot, NQ. Microsoft rolled a touch from there, but nothing crazy. NVIDIA has been Mr. Market Maker, so why not take us up to the highs? See that? Look at that bad boy pushing. We're diverging. I think Q's been the leader, so should be going up to at least 80. If it fails, it fails. I'm just trying my best here to get some sort of quick little pop off that NVIDIA pop. Get it up to 80. Then we can secure some profits there. Get ourselves basically back to break even. Still, I gotta get out of here. So this is a time stop. If in 2 minutes we didn't get anywhere, we're gonna just kind of flatten it out. But it probably will stop us out beforehand anyway. If we seem like we're ripping, then I might have to stay just a couple seconds longer. But really, I'm just gonna trail it out super tight. NVIDIA failed that high. Not really. It's still got some room to the upside there. Come on, Microsoft, play along. Apple. Oh, I played the NVIDIA divergence. Market's at lows. NVIDIA was ripping up. I gave it a shot. Delta's now pumping down. We're going to get stopped out on this. And then we'll play along later. you know, we did a good job of mitigating risk on the day. Even if we do get stopped here, we brought ourselves back from the grave. Not the grave, but just a shitty bunch of trades in the early morning. Two bad trades, which were not even bad. They were just losers. Sometimes you lose trades. That's just how trading is. So price tried to, the Delta tried to drive price down, didn't. So we are just sitting here right now. Maybe we'll get one more pop up. If we get above break even, I'm gonna pop this to break even, and then I don't care where it goes from there because I am gonna secure this, get back above it, get above break even, get above this high, and then we'll be at break even. But we'll be here at least. Okay, get above break even. We'll be out at 29 in 30 seconds, 12 seconds, 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2. Okay, we're at break even. Whatever happens from here happens from here, and we're out. Okay, so that's why I wanted to manage that. Time stopped out 11:30. Nothing happened. Trade didn't go anywhere. We made $1. We came. We saw we're down 209 on the day. I may be back after my haircut. I'll let you know. But until then, tomorrow 8:30 a.m. and we'll make some really good trades. And 2:30 is gonna 209 is gonna look a lot like a chump change when we make a nice little trade tomorrow. So I'll let you know if we're back on later. But until tomorrow 8:30 a.m. I will see you then.